heck was that?
What were the words you just said to me? The last 3 words you said to me before we turned this on.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
And you, and you, and you, and you, and you can too. The power of your words.
Good
morning.
Morning.
Good morning, you guys, and happy Tuesday.
Tuesday, Shrewsday.
Tuesday, Shrewsday. Today we're talking about a weight loss related topic.
Can I be honest today?
Yeah.
As if I'm not on other days. Who's tired today? I'm tired today. I feel like I need to tape my eyes open.
You know what she told me before we started the show? She's like, I can't even today. I'm like, yes, you can. Look,
It's being dramatic.
Look, it's the truth. Mark Fleeg in the house.
Oh, what's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? But you know, like we all have those days, right? Where we feel like under recovered, we haven't gotten enough sleep. However,
You know what? It's because we're working really hard on this live web class. So you better freaking show up, because that is the reason why I am staying awake and hustling, so that we can give all of this stuff to you. So
but what if they're showing up right now and they don't know? Ooh, Alex in the
they
house
must
too.
know about it.
So next week we have a live masterclass coming at you. Okay, if you haven't already registered, then you need to do yourself a favor and do so.
Sarit's mom would say, you must.
We are going to talk about the 3 most important steps to achieve sustainable weight loss. And for all we care, you can attend wearing your pajamas and we're not even going to see you.
Or no pants.
Okay? I'm not sure if Tammy is here, but if somebody can do us a favor and drop the link, improveyousolutions.com/webinar, improveyousolutions.com/webinar. Make sure that you register. And in fact, because by now you should know about our mission to transform the lives of millions, share it with anybody who needs the help, wants the help, complains about, weight gain, strive for weight loss, just need sustainability. Feel free to share it with them, because we're all about helping as many people as we can, really and truly. This is why we're bringing it to you. Obviously working really hard.
This is actually the first day where I was like, I don't want to do espresso. And not because the reason I'm here is because of you guys. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have shown up for this. Mm-hmm. But you guys mean that much to us.
Thank you, June, and Amelia, and Sarah.
The beginning of this episode sounds like the end of the last couple episodes. Boogie, do you want to say hi?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm here. Oh, he's yawning. Boogie's working very hard too, as you can see.
Yeah, he's actually doing everything. I don't know what I'm complaining about.
Okay, so, this whole conversation about the BMI, like we hear about the BMI often, you've heard us talk about the scale a lot. Really and truly, the scale is a great way to assess progress over a long period of time. Like trends, just like we say, like in the stock market. You don't want to check if you have stocks, you don't want to check your stocks each and every day, because there's this movement happening each and every day, which doesn't give you enough information in order to really track your progress. However, if you do step on the scale every couple of weeks, just for the sake of assessing, totally fine. However, most people who step on the scale do step on the scale each and every day because they're seeking validation, right? So that would be not false, but an unhealthy relationship with the scale. However, this thing called the BMI is something that we hear a lot in the medical field, right? So do us a favor and drop a comment, applicable emoji with regards to whether or not you've ever had your BMI taken, and how did you feel after you had your BMI taken. So
once you figured out what that meant, what that number meant.
So, the first thing that I want to talk about with regards to the BMI is, what does BMI stand for? Okay, so BMI stands for Body Mass Index. Now, just so you guys know, okay, the definition of mass, according to physics, right, is as follows. It is the quantity of matter, right, which a body contains as measured by its acceleration under a given force or by the force exerted by a gravitational field, right, because gravity is a force. So basically, your entire mass. Okay, so now what is our mass composed of? Okay, it is composed of muscles. It is composed of connective tissue. It is composed of fat. It is composed of water. It is composed of poop and like materials that we excrete. How would you call it? Excretory material. Whoever is in the medical field, please feel free to.
Excretory. It sounds like an eatery.
Please feel free to give me a hand here, but you get the point, right? So like, this is literally like, your mass is everything that your body weighs and everything that your body contains in it. Okay, so can we all agree, that being said, that let's say a really muscular person who weighs 200 pounds and an overweight person who weighs 200 pounds have the same, they carry the same mass? Can we agree on that?
Mass is mass.
Mass is mass.
Mass is mass.
Mass is mass, right? So
guess what? If I put on a 20-pound weight vest, my mass goes up.
Right. Because mass talks about the overall amount of matter, right? So your mass, whether, has a more muscular composition or a fattier composition, the mass is still the same. Okay, so that is something that we have to take into account with regards to BMI, okay?
This has mass.
Yes. So for example, Erin and I, we have a different amount of mass because
Sarit's cup has a BMI that's overweight for its height.
Yeah. So body mass index, okay, is used in the medical field in order to assess your overall amount of mass, right? And more often than not, it is in correlation with regards to your body composition. However, not always. So now go ahead and raise your hand if you've ever checked your body mass before. Like, do you know what your BMI is?
I have no idea actually what mine is.
So if you guys want to know, I actually pulled up a calculator. We can all do this right now because I would love to see what my BMI is. We actually, we stepped on the scale this morning so that we'll be able to do this exercise today. But it is...
Where's your calculator?
So the link that you want to follow is...
this is not something that you want to use regularly though.
This is not something that you want to use regularly.
So let's just tell them the equation.
Oh, I don't know. This is an equation that does it for them.
Oh, it
maybe I'll drop it in our show.
Let's do some. Why don't we just do some examples?
Because
why I don't want to give them a thing to check their BMI because it's absolutely useless.
Right, but it is useless.
So let's do some examples.
Okay, great. So there's different BMI categories, you guys. Okay, there is a category for underweight, a category for normal weight, a category for overweight, and a category of obesity. Right. So now, something that what?
Sarah said when she took her daughter at when my daughter was 2, her pediatrician said that she was obese based on her BMI. I immediately got a new pediatrician.
Yeah. So, you know, in order for you to be considered underweight, your BMI is going to be less than 18.5, normal weight anywhere between 18.5 to 24.9, overweight 25 to 29.9, and obesity 30 or greater. So look, basically the BMI checks like the ratio for your weight per per square man, it's weight over height.
You're losing me.
Basically.
Okay, my height. 5. We're going to do examples of ourselves just to show you what happens here. Okay, your height. I am 5 feet. I have 6 inches. I am 140 0.7 pounds. Yeah. Compute BMI. Okay, so I'm 22.7, which makes me
normal weight.
On the high end of normal weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
can do mine.
Yeah, where are you? You're 5'2".
I'm 5'1".
5'1". Okay, 5'1" at 126.
Yeah.
Compute. 23.8. So you're also on the high end of normal weight.
Yeah. So here's the thing with regards to BMI and why it can be very misleading. We have to take everything, like we said, with a grain of salt. Your BMI doesn't lie, but your BMI for every different person might not tell the exact truth. So like Mark, for example, right? I think he just said that
Mark's BMI probably says he's overweight.
He said he's on top of overweight, right? So according to the scale, he's 29.5, which you're almost borderline obese, Mark, right? According to the BMI.
If you see Mark's latest photos, though, Mark is nowhere near.
Right. However, his body composition, if you were to measure that, based of either body calipers or bioelectric impedes or through,
hydrostatic
weighing. Hydrostatic weighing, you would notice that, Mark's body composition in relation to his BMI is completely different. So, you have to take everything with a grain of salt, because basically what happens is when these algorithms calculate your BMI, and I'm pretty sure that it is your height over weight or something like that. The reason why I don't know it is because it doesn't matter. However, a lot of people put a lot of emphasis into BMI, just like the scale. So we're just trying to we're bringing the point full circle to you guys.
What I don't like is that the names of the categories themselves.
Right.
Underweight, normal weight, overweight, obesity. Like, where is athletic? Where is lean?
Right. Because I don't consider myself as normal. I'm way
I don't
average.
want to I wouldn't consider myself. I mean, I guess here's the thing. This calculates average.
Yes.
We're not trying to be average.
Amen. So BMI is a calculator for the average, and it basically gives you
which is very much the truth if you take that in literal terms. It is to calculate the average.
Yeah.
But look at society. What is average, and do you want to be that?
Such a good point. Right, and that's why, for one, we find for ourselves, not for everybody, for most people, the BMI would make sense, yes, but for us it doesn't, because remember, mass, whether it's fat or muscle, is the same amount of mass, right? So according to the BMI, I'm normal, but according to my body composition, right, I'm way above average. I'm considered probably very athletic.
Yeah, I mean, what if you have really big feet and a really big head, so you weigh more?
Right.
Are you overweight now because you have more mass?
Right.
Really big feet. I feel like that wouldn't actually... You get the point. It's like things that actually are not fat, but making you think that because of some kind of measurement based off of average, that you're overweight or that you have more body fat because you weigh more per your height.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. You don't need a scale. You don't need BMI. You don't need a body fat test. You don't need circumference measurements. You don't need any of these things, because there's this one thing that we all have that will determine whether or not we are where we want to be, and that is called feelings.
And your intuition.
Right? So do you, and integrity. I feel like we keep shifting this way, and I think it's because you like to be in the middle of the camera.
You're the one who set the camera, so.
Yeah, but you keep pushing me. Okay, anyways. So, when you look in the mirror and you like what you see, you're doing good. Mm-hmm. When you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, you can improve. And that is the only fucking measurement that anybody needs.
Amen.
Here's the thing though, when we look at ourselves all the time, we don't always see the changes that are happening. So yes, sometimes like these measurements can come in handy to help us to track progress, to help us stay on track, to help us know if something's working or not. However, most of these measurements and these numbers and these things, for one, are obsessed over, and for two, are extremely misused and fuck us up in the head.
Yep.
So all we need to know is, am I doing the right shit? Am I taking the action that makes me feel as though I'm doing my best? Are my clothes fitting differently? Do I have more energy? Am I sleeping better? Do I have a better attitude? Is my appetite improved? All of these other things that are not number related matter. Right?
Okay.
Can I get an amen?
I want to say something. It might sting for a few people, but I don't care.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Those who are seeking validation from external sources, whether it be the scale, the BMI calculator, other people, are doing it because they know that deep down they're not where they want to be. So they're just trying to get it from other sources. And those who are extremely content with where they are really do not care whatever any other source tells them.
I think that's the heart of self-love.
Yeah.
It's
like, Mark, do you care what your BMI is? When the doctor tells you, oh, Mark, your BMI seems to be very high this year. I got jacked, dude.
Mark's like, okay, whatever. You know, this is really what it comes down to at the end of the day. If everything could be summed up into one espresso episode, it's in this sentence. Everybody wants to feel loved and appreciated and important and useful and have purpose. That is what we want. And there are certain things that give us those feelings. And feeling confident about the way that we look and having energy to keep up with whoever we want to keep up with or whatever tasks we want to keep up with is what helps us achieve. But when you seek from the outside to fulfill those things, you will fail every damn time.
Amen.
It does not matter how shredded you are, how ripped you are. We've coached people who have been very lean, wanting to get even leaner because they're still not they're still not happy with where they are. Satisfaction is a different thing. Like, I believe I'm never satisfied. I always want more, but that's because I know I'm capable of more. And that doesn't mean that I don't recognize or that we don't recognize how far we've come and what we've accomplished. However, as human beings, when you have no purpose and you're not striving or stepping forward to achieve something else or being challenged, it's depressing. You get depressed. Do you have depression? It's because you're not reaching. It's because you don't have purpose. It's because maybe you don't feel loved, but you don't know how to do it yourself. It's because you don't have validation from other people, so you always want to, at that point, you're not doing it for you.
So
yes,
powerful.
it's good to have other motivators, like your kids or, you know, whatever a goal that you have in mind. I want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, so I have to be physically in shape to do that, right? So it's good to have external motivators, but those external pieces cannot be, though they can have a part in your why, you still have to be doing it for you. And this is why we say no external transformation happens without an internal transformation. And food is not your problem. Exercise is not your problem. Your mind is your problem. And this totally turned from a BMI topic to a mindset topic.
And it always will.
Because that is what it comes down to every time.
Yep.
Every time. Your success or your failure lives here. That's it.
And it is not determined by the BMI.
It's not determined by BMI. It's not determined by what has happened in your past. If you've had success in your past, guess what? That success from yesterday doesn't give you success today.
Yep.
And your failures from yesterday also don't dictate today. Whatever has happened has happened. I know people who live on like, or, you know, we hear about all the time, people, oh, I used to be this, I used to be that, I used to do this, I used to, it doesn't matter. It's gone. What happened to it? It just is your memories, which is great. But also the same is true for your failures. I have failed this many times. Stop holding on to it. It's gone. Move on. Today's a new day.
Yep. Every day, we all start the same way. And we all start at 0, 0. Treat every day as if you're in insert your favorite match or your favorite sport. And the score is 0, 0. And the only way to win, to be at 1, 0, right, is for you to show up. And it doesn't matter how many times you failed. It also doesn't matter like what you've achieved. Nothing is guaranteed, right? The only thing that's guaranteed for you tomorrow is what you work for today.
If you have the pleasure of waking up the next day.
Yeah. But here's the thing. The only way for you to keep up with that, right, is to have the right attitude. Because if you don't have the right attitude, you're going to get distracted by stupid things, right? Like whatever the BMI is. Oh, the doctor told me that my BMI is high. Okay, do something about it. And figure out whether it's the truth. I mean, most times it is the truth, because most people in this country and on this planet are overweight and obese, right?
Stacy said something amazing. With all of these tools, we must ask ourselves, are they tools or chains? That's epic.
Oh.
Seriously.
That is very powerful.
They imprison so many.
Yeah, and you know, I want to talk about real quick the concept of integrity, right? Sometimes your BMI, let's say you're very tall, your BMI might say that you're normal weight, but you can actually be overweight, right? And that's why...
Maybe not even overweight, but still unhealthy. Like, the weight is weight. Like, health is health. Strength is strength.
Yep.
Badassery is badassery.
It's earned. So, you know, it's the concept of integrity. I remember one time you were on the phone with a girl who weighed, like 250 pounds. And she's like, I have a so-and-so body fat percentage.
Okay.
Like she's like, I have an 11.
Oh,
do you remember
yeah,
that?
she was delusional.
Right.
Like,
so
legit delusional. She was 250 pounds, at least that's what she put. Maybe she meant to put 150 and it was a typo, but I know, I talked to her on the phone. She's 250 pounds and she was saying the lowest body fat that she had gotten to was like, what she said she was at like 6% body fat or something. I'm like, you are absolutely delusional, because I live my life probably around 15, 14 maybe.
I was going to say 14 to 16.
And I'm 140 pounds. So,
yeah.
Are you a dude?
One thing is for sure, unless you're a really tall,
Are you
really
The Rock?
muscular dude,
Like
if you weigh 250 pounds, like you're not 6% body fat. You're probably 60%
unless you're the Rock.
body fat.
Unless you're the Rock.
Right, but that's because he's a big guy, tall,
so,
and he's also really muscular.
So what I'm saying is, have you ever seen a female that looks like the Rock? Close. But there's a lot of shit that goes into that.
Yeah.
Anyways, you get the point. Like, it's all numbers, and numbers are stupid. What measurement tracks badassery? That's what I want to know.
Work capacity.
On a scale of you laid in bed all day to showed the fuck up. That's how you measure it.
Here's what I would say. I would say your overall work capacity times the positive impact that you make on others. That is badass.
And yourself.
Because there's a lot of people who are really fucking fit, but you know what? They're very miserable, and they're really they're shitty people to be around. Like, we know some of those people, and that is why, in fact, we started working out like at our own gym, because we're like, this shit is ridiculous. Just because you have a nice body or you can clean and jerk however much weight doesn't mean that you deserve a gold medal if you're a really shitty person and you can't even acknowledge people when they walk through your door.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
What?
Though they can be that way. Like, shredded, strong, athletically capable, amazing. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yep.
And at the same time be a complete arrogant asshole is because if you lost that, you're literally, your value and your self-worth would be at zero.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. Your self-worth that is the only number that you need to improve upon, is your self-worth from inside here. Not based off of how much weight you can lift, not based off of how you look in a bikini, not based off of
what's your body fat percentage
or your BMI.
What your BMI is. Yeah.
Like, your self-worth can only be determined if you want to truly be happy, if you want to truly feel successful and fulfilled. Your self-worth from the inside has to be growing each and every day, not based off of anything external, because everything you can see, you can touch, is temporary.
Yep.
It is finite.
Mm-hmm.
I could drop this mug any day, shatters. Guess what? This mug will never exist again. If I put my self-worth in this mug, seems silly, but you get what I'm saying, then I would be at zero. I would have nothing to live for. Right? So there's also people who look this way, they're like actually terrible coaches.
Oh my gosh, don't even.
But people trust them because they look like they, which is valid. There's also people who I would argue like don't look the part, right? If you feel like you want to improve yourself, you're going to go to somebody who looks like they are behaving in a way that you need to behave to improve yourself, because they look a certain way, right? We call it looking the part. If you don't look, I know a lot of people who don't look the part, but they're actually very smart. Mm-hmm. They just struggle themselves. Mm-hmm. But they're very smart. They have all the knowledge. They have the coaching. They understand it. They just don't know how to take it. They don't know how to be coached.
I would say it's just as big of a problem.
It's just as big of a problem. I want to start a whole company that is for the fitness professional who feels like an imposter.
Yeah.
It's mostly females.
It is way too common. And in fact, something I noticed from our experience, because we worked at an extremely highly reputable place before we went on our own venture, but there is a lot of smart people in the room. A lot of smart people. But it's very rare that you find somebody who's got a good message, who's smart, and who also looks like they walk the walk.
Practice what you preach. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Right?
It's integrity.
Yeah. Man, so, the concept of integrity, don't seek validation from the BMI or the scale or whatever. However, you do have to take all that information with a grain of salt, right? So instead of beating yourself up, let's say if you go to the doctor, they measure your BMI and, it says that you're overweight, before having an emotional fit, in the back of your head, ask yourself, why, what is this trying to tell me? Is this the whole truth? And if this is the whole truth, am I okay with it being as it is? Because if you are, then by all means, go for it. If you're truly happy, like what's her name, Amy Schumer.
Man, if you're truly,
she knows that she's very overweight, but guess what? She's content with it. Like, and you can tell that like her spirit and her mind are like in complete alignment. And if that is the case, then amazing, more power to you, because by the end of the day, you're happy. And for all I care, if you're deep down, like truly fulfilled and content with your life, which with Amy Schumer, you can definitely see that she is extremely successful, has, you know, a great marriage, is about to give birth, I think, to her second child, whatever. As long as there is no medical interruptions with your, you know, living being, right? Like, then fine. Just make sure that you don't get on the sick side, because, I mean, the more body fat you store, the more toxins you have in your body, the greater are your chances of developing chronic disease. That's just a matter of fact, right? But if you're happy being more on the overweight side, hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Here's what I will say.
Tell me.
Happiness is separate from your weight. Happiness is it's again goes back to being validated by the way you look, right? So you can't say I'll be happy when this, right? But there is a legitimate, you can be legitimately content with where you're, not content, I don't think content's the right word. I think accepting of where you are while working to improve it. So if somebody says, oh, you're overweight, what's your response?
Why do you say that? Why do you think that?
No, if a doctor told you, like, you don't want to start an argument. Like, if I'm literally, don't like overplay it. Like, if we're in a doctor's office right now, and I'm the doctor, says your BMI is it's in an overweight category. In your mind,
what will go in my head?
What do you think?
Well, I know that it's not the truth.
But what do you say? You're like, okay.
Yeah,
are you like, oh my God, I can't believe it? Or are you like,
no,
okay, whatever.
I will take a deep breath and I'll say, okay. But however, like,
here's what I'm getting at. Here's what I'm getting at. Is that when you're good with yourself and you know that you're doing your best and you know that you're actually trying to be better in life, you don't give a shit about what anybody else actually says about you. I mean, we all have ego. And so, if somebody directly says something to you or about you that is offensive or could be offensive, it stings no matter what. Like, you're human. People are, like, the more people that come into this community, the more, like, messages or comments that we get about stupid shit that could hurt our feelings. But when you're good with you, you don't care, because there's trolls. That's another completely different topic. But what I'm trying to get at is that the only way you'll be truly, genuinely happy and satisfied is from the inside, knowing that you're showing up each day to do your best.
Amen.
Not off of any number, not off of any comment from anybody else, right? It was, Sarah shared this, so I'm going to share it here too. But Sarah Shredded Novick, she said, when she went back to the gym after quarantine, she lost like 15 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Didn't even know she had 15 pounds to lose, right? So she went back to her gym and people started making comments. Well, guess what? Like, once somebody makes a comment one time, they're not going to comment again. They've already said what they needed to say, right? But for some reason, we thrive off of that. It's like, oh, say it again. Oh, it feels so good. Say it again. That's because you need more from it from yourself than from other people.
Yes.
Right? Somebody makes a comment, in their mind, they're like, I already told you. Like, what, you want me to say it every day so you feel good?
Also, when you see somebody on a day-to-day basis, you don't see as much of a change happening.
Right.
But the truth is that it is only your actions that will, for one, dictate whatever your BMI is, whatever the scale is, right? And you need to have integrity with yourself. Like, if there is a misalignment, Like, if you're not okay with it, don't blame the universe, don't blame anything. Like, ask yourself, why is this happening to me? You know, like in this community, right? Like, most of the people that are around here, and drop a comment if you disagree, everybody is health conscious, right? That's why you show up. However, just because you're health conscious doesn't mean that you are where you want to be. And also, like, the biggest struggle that we have, because in the 21st century, is lack of patience. So there's a lot of stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, lack of consistency, right? So, like, you need to have integrity with yourself. And just because you work out often, or just because you eat low carb or whatever, it doesn't mean that, like, anything is guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is how you feel at the end of the day after you've shown up wholly. And when I mean wholly, I mean not just like had a workout that wrecked you. That's not enough. In fact, I would say that most of the time that's inappropriate, because is that a way to treat your body, right? But you are the only one who is in charge of defining what is the right thing for you by the end of the day. Nobody else is in charge of telling you that. Yes, there are metrics in order to put people in a box. There are, unfortunately, right? That's how society works. That's why there's a census that goes out each and every year, right? However, you are in charge of redefining your destiny each and every day, and it is up to you. However, you need to face the reality and, like, see where you're at. Ask yourself, am I truly content? Am I happy? If you're not, you need to get on the right approach. You need to have the right attitude. I see so many people who work their ass off, but because they have a shitty attitude, they never look like what they want to be, because their attitude is not on point. So you need to take some action. You gotta put in the time. You gotta put in the effort, right?
Sarah's right. That's why kids be thirsty on that social media.
Yeah. So true.
I feel like this is completely a number that I'm making up. This is a metric that is not validated from anywhere other than inside my head, that 85% of social media are people trying to post to get likes.
Probably.
And followers.
It gives you a dopamine hit.
Yeah, it feels good, right? It for us too. Yeah, it feels good when however many, 100 people like a post. Great. At the end of the day, does it actually mean anything? No.
Right.
Because if that's what you're holding on to, you are doomed.
Yeah.
You're doomed. What if Instagram goes away? Oh my God, nobody likes me anymore.
Yeah. And that's why depression and anxiety is on the rise too. So look, you know, if today's message spoke to you, right? For one, like, take every bit of information with a grain of salt, right? And ask yourself, is this the whole truth? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Like Mark Fleek, for example, what the BMI would tell him is not the complete truth, right? However, you know, if it does tell you somewhat of the truth, like, you need to deal with it and ask yourself, like, am I where I want to be? Am I okay with it? If you're okay with it, then hey, more power to you. But if you're not, then you got to have integrity and you got to do something about it. You got to change your approach. You got to have a good attitude, because, you know, by the end of the day, we all have to choose our own form of comfortable. Do you want to go through some kind of discomfort in order to grow? Growth happens as a byproduct of overcoming discomfort.
Multiple times.
Right, like, you have to get vulnerable, you have to get real with yourself, you have to be persistent, you have to be consistent, you have to persevere, right? Or do you want to be uncomfortable by choosing to stay in your comfort zone?
There's no such thing.
That leads to, like, the ultimate discomfort, because you're never going to be fulfilled. Right, so you're gonna seek for validation from outside sources. So look, if you found today's message beneficial or helpful, it spoke the truth to you, so that means that you really need to join our webinar if you haven't yet done so. If one of you guys can do us a favor and drop a comment once again with the link, that'll be amazing. ImproveYourSolutions.com/webinar. Spaces are limited. However, we want to have each and every one of you guys there because we know what this webinar is going to teach and we know how helpful this is going to be. Also, feel free to share it with anybody that you love and care about, who you know is still seeking validation from other sources, is struggling, or is just wanting to get better. Okay, we are all on a journey of self-development. However, weight loss is so much more self-development than it is anything else if you want to do it in a sustainable way. And we're going to be teaching the 3 steps to achieve sustainable weight loss. So you never have to wonder, you never have to start over again. You just have to be. Anything else to add to that? All right, you guys, on that note, we will catch you tomorrow, 6:30.
6:30.
Money conversation, because it is Wednesday. We will see you there. Take care, you guys.
Bye.
Have a great day.